Let's look more closely at Technical Skill Attainment 2S1 and how CSV files can be particularly helpful in improving this performance indicator. Unfortunately, Technical Skill Attainment is one of the most frequently missed performance indicators of all, having resulted in more performance improvement plans than any other performance indicator. The consequences of having to do a performance improvement plan increase each year when the target for the same performance indicator is not met. Let's look further into what you can do to meet your target for 2S1. This is a sample of a CSV file opened in Excel. In this sample of 20 students, only a few of the columns have been included. Why? That's right, it could never fit on a page due to the number of columns of data. Similarly, many columns that would not be germane to what was being examined can be hidden when examining the data. Once hidden, three of the most useful functions are the freeze pane, the sort, and the filter. The freeze pane is located in the View menu in Excel. It allows, for example, the top row to be frozen so that it stays in view while scrolling up and down. Very useful if scrolling through several hundred rows. What other data analysis could you do? A simple sort function in this example would make it easier to view pertinent information. Note that of particular importance are the two columns entitled CTE-CONC and CTE-CONC-SEC-ED. Being a CTE concentrator is a prerequisite for being a CTE concentrator who left secondary education, which in turn is a prerequisite for having data count in all but one of the performance indicators. You will learn more about the exceptional importance of concentrators in Part 3 of this series. You can also determine in which program individual students were enrolled, which OCTCA test they took, and whether they passed the test or not. In this example, you can also see information regarding the OGT reading test. Keep in mind that their results will not count unless they are a concentrator who left secondary education. In the example, also bear in mind that 1 means yes and 0 means no. Let's do a little basic CSV data analysis. In each of the programs listed, did all students in each program take the same OCTCA WebExam test? Easier to see? If you said yes, give yourself a thumbs up. Now, how many of those concentrators in CTE program P5 who were tested failed to pass? That's right, 3. If you got that one correct, pat yourself on the back. Now, how many of all of the concentrators on this page were not tested? If you said 3, you were correct again. Now for the bonus question. If the first 2 concentrators of the above 3 concentrators who were not tested had been tested and passed, would their data have counted? Explain your answer. That's right. Their data would not have counted this year because they were not a CTE concentrator who left secondary education. Using the filter function would make it even easier to view this data. If you got them all correct, use your knowledge to meet your targets. Hey, what about students 19 and 20? They have scores for an OCTCA test and an OCTCA test code. Why are they shown as a 0 in the OCTCA took column? Their OCTCA scores would even indicate a pass. It is critical that you match the proper program code to the proper assessment on the CTE Technical Assessment Matrix. If the codes do not match, the score will not count. Unfortunately, despite that the two students appeared to pass OCTCA test 09EA, the program code and the OCTCA did not match on the CTE Technical Assessment Matrix, and they were therefore coded as 0 in both the took and pass columns. The student in row 2 would need to be scrutinized further. For example, he may not have tested before leaving secondary education, or his program may not have had an assessment. Most assessments consist of several modules. Students should be assessed on the individual modules when they are prepared for them, especially since there may be significant time lapses between the modules' administrations. By all means, assess all students. Now that ODE is paying for the cost of web exam assessments, there is no financial impact to the district. Please read the example. We've all had the misfortune of students failing to complete programs, changing programs, or worse yet, failing to complete school. In the example above, despite Billy's efforts and excellent results, his average of 97 on the first 4 modules will be combined with 3 zeros for scores on the remaining 3 modules in the complete web exam battery. His total percentage would be 55%, constituting a failed web exam and thus negatively impacting 2S1. Not every industry assessment counts toward 2S1. In the matrix, the assessments that count are identified as required. Why are industry assessments captured all the way until the close of March D reporting in EMIS? Students may be most optimally prepared for the industry assessment after completion of the CTE program and may not be assessed until summer. Some might even pass an industry assessment on the second attempt. Therefore, there is some additional time to capture this data. A search leading to a sample follow-up study has been included as a means that schools employ to capture industry assessment data, as well as placement data and GED data for the calculation of secondary school completion. Collecting and the reporting in EMIS of the industry assessment data is entirely the responsibility of the district. Don't miss Part 3 of monitoring CSV files. It provides valuable information about the prerequisites for having data count by assuring that Concentrator status is being correctly reported. It also provides some examples of monitoring other performance indicators.